In a strongly worded press release, members of the Atiku media team accused Bwala of attempting to rewrite political history and misleading Nigerians about his past positions on the administration of President Bola Tinubu. The statement claims that Bwala once sought their help to circulate allegations that his life was under threat from associates of the president, a request they say they deliberately declined because they believed it was politically motivated. The release also criticized Bwala's recent appearance on an international program hosted by journalist Mehdi Hasan, arguing that the interview exposed contradictions between Bwala's past criticism of the Tinubu administration and his current role defending it. Let's take a look.
This is the first time in the history of Nigeria we've seen a political party creating a militant army.
Tinubu never created a militia. Tinubu is one of the foremost politicians in Nigerian history.
Tinubu and his people created a militia. Who said those words, Daniel?
Tinubu has helped in strengthening democracy in Nigeria.
Tinubu and his people created a militia, Daniel. Who said those words?
Tinubu brought in leadership
skills
into governance.
Tinubu and his people created a militia. Who said those words?
Tinubu and his people never created the militias.
So why did you say they did on January 22nd, 2023?
I never said that.
The candidate of All Progressives Congress, President Bola Tinubu, and his people created a militia. This is the first time in the history of Nigeria we're seeing a political party creating a militant arm leading to election.
Does he have a militia that tried to kill you?
He doesn't have. I never said he tried to kill me.
I myself have received threats from him and his camp.
Well, according to the statement, the exchange highlighted what the Atiku camp described as shifting loyalties and an attempt to dismiss serious national issues, including insecurity, as mere political rhetoric. The response marks the latest escalation in the ongoing political battle between the ruling administration and opposition voices as debates around governance, accountability and political loyalty continue to intensify ahead of the next electoral cycle. To help us unpack the implications of this political exchange and what it says about Nigeria's current political climate, we're joined by the BD advisor to former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, Paul Ibe, and also we do have a former APC 2019 Presidential Campaign Council member, Ibrahim Osinowo, who will join us as well. Okay, for context, I know that word now sounds like, that English word context is a word many would fear to use now, but let me start off first with Mr. Paul Ibe. Thank you so much for joining us. We did see the press release, and there were a lot of statements made on that press release about the planned mention of being under attack and so on and so forth. We'd like you to please dissect this for us so we can get the true sense of what happened.
Well, thank you for having me. The truth of the matter is that, the appearance of Bwala and his performance is symptomatic of, the Tinubu administration defending the indefensible. I mean, even like we said in our statement, even if Bwala, has an opportunity in Heaven Times or Heaven TV network, nothing will come out of it. Because the truth of the matter is that there is no way you can run away from your past. Your past is an indication of your present. So the President Bola Tinubu had questions, to answer. And contrary to what Bwala said at that interview, I mean, that particular issue was not litigated. The Supreme Court, the tribunal simply said that matter should have been a pre-election, matter. But the truth remains that as we speak, Bola Tinubu has questions about his parentage. He has questions to answer about his, certificates, about the schools that he attended. So that continues to, the cloud is hanging, over him and will continue to hang over him until those issues are dealt with exhaustively. And what is his name? Bwala cannot, continue to say that he didn't know what he said just a couple of years ago. I mean, that's a shame. It's a national shame. It's disgraceful. And it was not Bwala that was being ridiculed. Nigeria was being ridiculed. It was a bad outing for Nigeria.
All right, we'll come back to continue the conversation. We need to go on a very short break. And when we come back, we'll be expanding that further on how this may or may not have embarrassed Nigeria. Please stay with us. Welcome back to Breakfast Central. We're still looking at the reactions from the interview granted by Daniel Bwala when he went on head-to-head, and we're also joined this morning by the former APC 2019 Presidential Campaign Counsel, Ibrahim Osinowo. Dr. Oshinowo, your party has come under fire. Just like Mr. Paul Ibe did say, many have argued that he did not just embarrass himself, but that he's embarrassed Nigerians and reflected a deficiency in the All Progressives Congress because there really was nothing to defend. How do you respond to this?
Good morning, our viewers, and good morning, guys in the studio. My sister, it's nice to see you again after a long time.
We're happy to see you as well.
Anyway, I will speak nationally. You know, I will not speak for Daniel, my younger brother. I won't speak for him. I will speak for the government. I'm not a spokesperson for the government, but I will speak as somebody who campaigned rigorously for this government and Atiku Bola Tinubu. Why Daniel was with a respected leader, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. Daniel, you are mentioning, you know, I'm not going to speak for him. I believe that character, everything. I believe, you know, personality in a public space, you need to, you know, not for today, but for prosperity. So I'm sure Daniel is suffering from his past and what he has said to us, particularly during the day. He was smiling, he was enjoying at the other side during the 2023 campaign. You know, saying all talk, saying in love about the present president. So I'm not going to speak for him. Daniel is a younger brother. It's too small for me to speak about. He has disgraced himself and his family. He doesn't disgrace his government and Atiku Bola Tinubu. So I believe he will answer to his father's name. You know, the interview is a very simple interview. Own up to your past. The man of honor, dignity, and respect. You know, I met him many years ago. Same Daniel Bwala, when he was battling Senator Ali Dume, and you know, said he wants to run for campaign. And I said, look, you just came into the post. You're not going to go to Senate. I realized that he was a council liar, a very strong and garrulous guy. So we decided to part ways. So when he shifted base to Atiku, particularly a lot of people in APC, in that 2023 campaign left APC because of all these characters, you know, running into the party after saying a lot about the president. Things they could not substantiate. And they will come back through the night and take appointments with the same government. So I want us to move further about what the APC has done. You know, Paul Ibe, my dear friend and brother, said, Atiku is suffering from this, is suffering from that. You know, I would like to remind Paul Ibe that people issues about his nationality is still in context. He was born in Jeddah in Cameroon. So those are the issues that will be mitigated at this, you know, at the forthcoming election as well. So if you are saying about Atiku, those issues about certificates, about everything has been answered during the last, you know, Supreme Court and hearing. So those are the issues that I would like us to focus on. Not to focus on Daniel. Daniel is, you know, is just a young guy, you know, trying to, you know, hustle and make some money.
I don't know, Dr. Oshinowo,
we're
still struggling with your audio. If you can help us maybe disconnect your AirPods so we can use the device audio directly. But I don't know if you say we should not focus on Daniel, because in this case, Daniel Bwala was not speaking for himself. He was speaking as a representative of the president as a representative of the All Progressives Congress. Are you saying that the president made a flaw in judgment in choosing Daniel to represent him?
No, of course, you and I will be doing the last election. You are here in this studio, and the gentle other guy is not there. You are here. We discussed, we campaigned to you, if you remember, in 2023.
Yes,
we are
sir.
here in this same studio. Now, let me tell you, Daniel is nowhere to be found. Daniel is in Atiku's house in Abuja, taking tea, eating bread, concocting lies against Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, telling staunch lies against us, telling us that we are bootlickers. So he went there. Bayo Ononuga is the spokesperson of the president, of commander-in-chief of the armed forces. So Daniel is not the spokesperson. It's a policy, and those policy statements needs to be signed and vetted by Bayo Ononuga. So he went there on his public fury as a liar, a staunch liar, who does not have any iota of reputation. If you go to his village in Borno State, there's nobody. Ask the incumbent vice president. What this same guy, Daniel, has said about the present vice president, who comes a former governor of his state. So because the boy wants to get relevance to the national prominency, so he believes that saying things that is not true, blatant lie, saying jargons about people's character is the best way. And good for him, he's able to find his way into the presidency. By saying that Bola Tinubu created a militia.
You haven't answered my question, Dr. Oshinowo. You haven't answered my question.
Why do you want to take me there?
No. My question is that also a reflection on the... Because he did not appoint himself special advisor, did he? He did not appoint himself to the position in the APC. So if you're saying all these things that are despicable about the character of Daniel Bwala, is that not a reflection on the person who appointed him, on the party who appointed him?
No. Daniel does not go to the United Kingdom to discuss policy. He went there to redeem his image as a liar, as a staunch liar and image destroyer. He went there to redeem. If you need anything about the government of APC, you talk to Bayo Ononuga or you talk to Sunday Dare. These are the guys that are in charge of public communication that will convey the stand of the government to the Nigerian people and the world, not Daniel. Daniel went there. You know, he likes to shop around the studios, like going to Shemo Kumbaloye, lies and, So this boy, don't let us focus on this boy, Daniel Bwala. Let's focus on what this government is doing. How can you be discussing Daniel? Who is that? Do you know Daniel 10 years ago?
So,
you don't know him. You don't know him anywhere.
I would like to bring Mr. Paul Ibe.
Please, let's discuss the government of APC. Don't discuss Daniel, please.
Thank you very much. I'd like to bring Mr. Paul Ibe in our Abuja studios back into the conversation. Now, Mr. Paul Ibe, some have described Mr. President's leadership style as being magnanimous. He's a forgiving father, he has an open heart, and we've seen that in the appointment of people who are guilty of doublespeak. They've said really terrible things about Mr. President, but they end up with very great appointments. I'm talking of Mr. Daniel Bwala and the person of the current Nigerian ambassador to Mexico, Ambassador Reno Omokri. How would you describe that leadership style? I mean, you can be forgiving and magnanimous in your private life, but when you are appointing people to represent Nigeria, doesn't that say a lot about you? Mr. Oshinowo said it doesn't reflect on the president and the government. Do you agree with him on that, or what's your take?
I mean, a compassionate heart is good to be forgiving and all of that. But like you said, we're talking about Nigeria. Whoever the president appoints represents, our country and everything that we, value and we stand for. And, I'm not weeping for Daniel Bwala. I mean, I'm weeping for Nigeria. And, hear it from Dr. Oshinowo, what he has said. I mean, completely. I also have a sense that they also playing the ethnic card, and, which also defined the 2023 election and continues to define, even governance and politics, in the APC. And it's a shame, to Nigeria. It's a shame, to the APC ruling party. It's a shame to Bola Tinubu. I am not talking about Daniel Bwala. Daniel Bwala represents, the administration, and Daniel Bwala was hired, by President Bola Tinubu, the same way that the president also tapped, Reno Omokri, to be the ambassador, in Mexico. Kai, my brother, these are terrible times that we are living. I don't know how we got to this point, where the worst of us are tapped to, to represent, to lead the rest of, the best of us. It's so unfortunate because it is telling, on the ability, of Bola Tinubu to be able to, nominate people who truly should represent Nigeria. Does Bola represent, with his outing, a couple of days ago, does it represent Nigeria? It doesn't. It shamed Nigeria. I mean, all of the snickerings that were going on at the studio where that interview took place, all of the laughing and the mockeries was against Nigeria. It was not against Bola Tinubu. It was not against Daniel Bwala. It was against Nigeria as a country and against us as a people. It is such a shame that we are living in this time when all that we have are skit makers, all that we have are comedians who are tapped, to represent the interest of Nigeria. It's such a shame. And there is nothing to explain it. Dr. Oshinowo has made it clearly, has told you, that Bwala was not there to represent our interest. He was there to advance his own interest. And so what we have are people within the Tinubu administration who truly do not represent the Nigerian interest. And that is the aggregation. That is what we have. And that is why this administration continues to be a failure. It is failing in every aspect. It is failing in the economy. It is failing in the insecurity. Daniel Bwala was in denial about the fact that the state of insecurity continues to worsen by the day. More people are being killed. And you deny that. What else are they prepared to, to deny? Very soon, they're going to deny the even existence of Nigeria, as a nation. And it is such a shame that we'll come on national TV, we'll go on international TV platforms, and we go there to disgrace this country. We don't have any other country but Nigeria. And at every point in time, our expectation is that whoever it is that is tapped, to represent our interests must be the best that we have, must not be based on political consideration. Yes, Bwala had a job, he had an assignment to do in the Atiku Abubakar campaign, and that was as a mole. And he did a fantastic job of it. And he's being rewarded like every other character, in the Tinubu administration, who are being rewarded, including the former INEC chairman. Probably he's going to be wherever he's been sent to go there and teach them how to rig election. Because I don't understand, why we will continue to reward, people who have not done any good, to us, as a country and as a people. We continue to reward, characters who don't mean well, anti-democratic, elements, people who have, sought to undermine democracy. It is such a shame, my brother.
Okay, before I come back to you, Dr. Oshinowo, please, let me also ask Mr. Paul Ibe. There's a statement that was made in that video that was also brought out, where Mr. Bwala once requested the Atiku media team to issue a statement alleging threats to his life from associates of President Bola Tinubu, the president whom he works for now. That's a very strong statement that you did put out there in the press release. Is there any evidence to support that claim? Did he really say that?
That's what we don't have evidence. I mean, we wouldn't do that. That happened. We are not Daniel Bwala. We don't eat our vomit. We are not dogs, local dogs, who, eat our vomit. With our full chest, we own whatever it is was in that statement. It happened, and we shut it down.
Just to confirm, why are we just hearing about it now? Why was it not exposed much earlier?
Well, you saw his outing. You saw what he said. We wanted to validate. We wanted to confirm the fact that this is the kind of people around, this administration. These are the people who have been, selected for political consideration, not actually because they have anything to offer. We needed to stress that point, that it happened, and we're aware of it.
All
and
right.
we're not playing any politics about it. We wanted to put that on record.
Okay.
And this was actually what happened.
I want us to bring Dr. Oshinowo into the conversation. Earlier, you had said the focus should not be on Daniel Bwala, but what the APC is doing. From all indications, you both agree that Daniel Bwala did not do a great enough job representing the All Progressives Congress. So now the floor is yours, Dr. Oshinowo. Can you do a better job of defending the APC?
You know, my dear friend, Mr. Paul Ibe, mentioned about security. Let me take you back to 2006, 2007. I'm sure at that time, Boko Haram started from Borno State. And who are the leaders of this country? Obasanjo and Atiku. Atiku specifically from the Northeast, monitor and supervise the security of that, region, the northeast of this country. The Boko Haram that Nigeria or Bola Tinubu government is suffering today emanated from the Northeast, where Atiku is an active player. Don't forget, Dr. Ibe, Mr. Ibe, when Atiku was moving to APC in 2012, 2013, I myself, Professor Boyi Shade of Blessed Memory and Otumba Fashawe, they are alive. We are part of the strategic policy committee in the Southwest for him. So I know AA very well, but he knows my stand. I am a policy maker. I don't go on up and down. I stay in one place and I try to consider my word, even when I was at the other side of the coin. Now, the security you are trying to put on Bola Tinubu was not initiated by his government. These are issues that was inherited from the Atiku regime down to Umaru Musa Yar'Adua, and the likes. Jonathan became worse, and the likes. So you have to see good things in your government. You have to be patriotic. If you are saying Bola Tinubu is not doing this, is not doing that, is not doing this, is not doing that, what are the things did you see as in Nigeria as a patriot that he has done? You're not going to have 100% in any exam. If you have 70, you have 60, you've passed. You understand? Let me be honest with you. The 2007 election is the worst election in this country under the leadership of Obasanjo and Atiku. The worst election, the worst of it all is 2007 election. So election is a competition. And I would like also to stress that, look, you have to look at the economy. Today, what is the rate of dollar? What are we having now? Move to that side. What are the infrastructural projects this government has been doing? That's why I said we can't be discussing Daniel Bwala. Let me give you a very strong information. Atiku camp during the 2023 election, at the aim of bringing down Bola Tinubu, he was front load this Daniel Bwala with those lies by Atiku to go out there and, even the London, the London shenanigans that campaign and, protest he was doing at that time was funded by Atiku camp. Was funded by the same Atiku camp. That's why it's going to be sad for me to discuss Daniel Bwala, who just popped up from nowhere.
Sorry, please.
So Atiku camp needs to go back.
I want to respond to what you said, Dr. Oshinowo, and just to come back to the conversation, saying we're not looking at blame games. The question I asked you was, if you can defend the APC. You talked about insecurity and say it did not start with President Bola Tinubu. I'm going to reference January 2023, where President Bola Tinubu had said when he was addressing party supporters during the APC presidential campaign rally held at the Malam Aminu Kano Triangle, Dotse Jigawa State. He talked about voting out the jackals and hyenas in the PDP administration in 2015 and said it would be disastrous to give them another opportunity back to power again. He said, and I quote, "You did the courageous job of chasing away the locusts 8 years ago. Do not trust their deceptive policies. Do not let them back into power. Like locusts, they will devour everything." He said, "Instead, vote for the people that have a track record of delivering prosperity to the people. We did it in Lagos and Borno, and with your help again, we'll do it in Nigeria. Vote for the people with vision, capacity, competence, and integrity to do what is right." He also talked about consolidating infrastructural revolution, and he talked about sweeping away insecurity. He said he will sweep away insecurity, terrorism, bandits, and hardship away. From your perspective, has he been able to deliver on that promise? Because President Bola Tinubu was well aware of the challenges that Nigeria had. Like you said, he did not invent it. he inherited it. So he was aware. And he said Nigerians should not pity him. So this excuse that you've given about him not having been the one to invent these troubles, Nigerians would argue that that's not an excuse enough.
Fresh your memory that Bola Tinubu is just 2.5 years in office. I want you to realize that. It's just he's just spending 2.5 years in office. But he's mounting the leadership of this country. So if you look at the security architecture of this country, it's just trying to re-strategize. All this banditry, coming from Lakawas, coming from Cameroon, from Niger, and the rest of it. These are security issues that are inherited from us. Now, if you look at the economy, you don't have to take the governance, sectionally. You have to look at it comparatively. Now, if you look at the economy, if you look at the agriculture, now, people are not being killed in drones. I'm not denying the fact that there are major issues that the government needs to work on in terms of security. Security is not about me. It's about Mr. Ibe, it's about you, it's about me, it's about family. He needs to do more in terms of security. He needs to look inward. What are the root causes? And these are the reasons why alliances are being formed with Turkey or with United States and the rest of it. So I'm not denying those things because I'm part of that campaign. Bola Tinubu mentioned all those things. But those things, are they actuable within the time frame? No. It needs more time to do all these things segmentally. We are trying to reframe and reshape the economy. We are trying to go into infrastructure that has been on massive decay across the country. Look at what it's doing in terms of infrastructure and the rest of it. So government is not about I'm not going to speak as opposition. I understand my brother. He's trying to come into government. He doesn't need to say any good things about what Bola Tinubu is doing, but he needs to be patriotic as well as a Nigerian and look at how can we reshape this country. This government is a policy government. Is trying to embark on a strategic policy.
Okay.
And if you're a policy government, you have a lot of enemy.
Thank you very much, Dr. Oshinowo. Because of time,
so these are the issues that we need to look, holistically.
Thank you very much, Dr. Oshinowo. Mr. Paul Ibe, does it matter under whose administration insecurity started? Because when President Bola Tinubu was in opposition, he didn't let former President Goodluck Jonathan have any day of rest with regards to insecurity. He said, if the kitchen is too hot, please leave the kitchen. Does it matter if it's commander-in-chief of the armed forces, and the primary responsibility of every government is to defend the lives of Nigerians? And from what we've seen in the last few years, it appears this government has failed woefully on that. But according to Dr. Oshinowo, he didn't start, he inherited the security problems. Is that
been in office for just 2.5 years.
Is it a valid enough reason to cut Mr. President some slack?
Oh, but for information, President Bola Tinubu is his administration is 2 years, 10 months. It's not 2.5 years. By May, it will be 3 years. We're in March, April, May. So it's 2 years and 10 months. That's just to put that into perspective. You see, for our good, for the good of citizens, of Nigeria, President Bola Tinubu needs to succeed. Nobody is wishing him bad. But the truth of the matter is that we are not just criticizing. We've been offering policy prescriptions, but it appears that we've been having conversations with the deaf. They're set in their ways, and it appears as if they're a disaster, a suicide. They're in a suicidal mission to destroy, Nigeria. Because right now, as you and I are speaking, what is going on is a battle for the soul of Nigeria. It's a battle for democracy, because every effort has been made to decimate, to destroy this democracy that was purchased at very high price. This was the same democracy that led to the death of MKO Abiola, to Yaradua, the late, Shehu Yaradua, and so many other people. But what is happening right now is that we are all being coerced, into the ruling party. And you talk about, what manner of master strategies, is this man who has ensured that we are less safe? I mean, the country is insecure. You heard from that, interview in the last 2 years of it. This is a 26% increase, in the number of people that have been killed. I mean, nobody's even talking about what happened, with the breaching of a military camp in Ngoshe, Ngoza local government last week. Over 100 people, I mean, some are reporting about 300 people that were kidnapped. Several soldiers were killed and have been quietly buried. I mean, the scene was gory. I mean, what are you talking about? This president inherited the assets and liabilities. He has a responsibility. Don't be telling me about history, about how Boko Haram started. We know that too well. It started in 2002, And by the way, it did not, get into the form that it is today during the Obasanjo Atiku administration. No, sir, it did not. But what has happened is that Bola Tinubu administration has worsened the situation. He has shown ineptitude and incapacity to deal with the security challenges, to deal with the economic challenges that we face. I mean, why is crying over spilled milk? It's about time that the man folds his sleeves and gets to doing the work that he signed for, and not to have his eyes on 2027 and doing things that are worsening the situation that he has met on, on ground. That's not his job as a commander-in-chief. His job is to protect you and I, is to protect our lives and our properties, is to improve our, the welfare of Nigerians. And that is not happening under the watch of, Bola Tinubu. Stop blaming other people, for your incompetence, for your cluelessness. Dig deep and be innovative about, resolving some of the problems, that are facing us as a nation, as a people. Don't be, don't be all over the place, blaming other people but Bola Tinubu. Bola Tinubu is the commander-in-chief. He's the president of Nigeria. Yeah. And if there's anybody to be blamed, it's not him. Instead of distorting history, going back to 2002 and talking about Atiku Abubakar, by the way, is not the president. Yes, he hopes to replace Bola Tinubu and do a better job of the nonsense that Bola Tinubu is currently doing.
All right, Mr. Paul Ibe, Dr. Oshinowo, thank you for joining us. This conversation is far from over, but we have to wrap up this segment now. As we have another guest we'll continue the conversation with. Well, thank you very much, gentlemen.
Yeah, I just want to ask Dr. Oshinowo to please avail us of your time. Dr. Oshinowo, if you can hear us, we'd like to invite you again later on this week.
I need to make my own submission, please.
If you can,
I need to 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Please go ahead.
Okay, please, let me correct Paul Ibe.
Please.
You know what? You have to, if there is no history, if there is no past, there will not be history. Atiku Abubakar contributed to the insecurity of this country that we are witnessing. He engulfed, fraudulently spent $15 billion on power, funding, allegedly funding Boko Haram militia group, highlighted by Daniel, the dog of Atiku in APC. So Atiku is getting most of the information in Bola Tinubu government through Daniel Bwala and co. So we are that you guys sent Daniel Bwala to APC to get information. He's an informant. So you need to discuss how Atiku has plunged this country into where we are today. He spent $15 billion, squandered it, funding militia groups, echoed by Bwala.
Dr. Oshinowo,
our next guest is here.
We have to wrap up. Our next guest is here. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Thank you so much, gentlemen. We'll revisit this conversation again with you, but we need...